I'm Kristen, Canada. I'm here with Allison Radzin, who is the Vice President of Sales of Presentation Design for Turner Broadcasting. So Allison, what led you into sales?
I'm actually a behind-the-scenes person, so I support sales. I think that salespeople need somebody to help them sell in an idea. What I do is I kind of help provide, we call it like the bells and whistle and the sizzle.
Okay.
So I've always been very creative, but I've had a way of being able to understand the business objectives and translate it to a creative message. So I'm kind of the liaison between the business side and the creative side. So that was actually a perfect place for me to be, was in sales, because salespeople want to generate revenue for the company, but they need somebody to help them tell their story about the benefits of a particular property or a platform or a network in a creative way. So that's kind of how I navigated my way over to sales. I didn't start there. I started in the creative side, but I found that I was good at telling creative people how to take their creativity and use it to sell in a business objective, like generating revenue.
Was it hard making the connection between the business side and the creative side?
She's asking really good questions. No, I feel like I'm right in between. I have two masters from Iona, and one's in literature and one's in business, and that's kind of the way my brain works. So I'm kind of right in the middle. I think I'm too strategic and task oriented and organized to be purely a creative person, because I like to meet deadlines and get the job done, and I think I've got too much kind of creative energy to just be on the business side, because not only do I care about generating the revenue, but I like the headlines to look nice. I like there to be like beautiful visuals, and so actually I think there's a place in business for people who are kind of creative and strategic, and it's usually in marketing or promotion, advertising, creative services. So that's kind of where I ended up.
So what made the attraction to you with Iona?
To come here in the first place? Well, actually, initially I came here for my literature degree, and I knew Iona had a history of stuff in Irish studies, and my mom's Irish. I have a background in Ireland. A lot of my family's there, and like Ireland had the Book of Kells at the library and so forth. So I came here and got my literature degree, and I went and studied in Ireland with Iona, and I did a lot of studies on Irish literature. So that was why I came here the first time, but I really benefited from being on campus, and I kind of knew as I wanted to progress in the business world, I should really get my MBA. So because I was really pleased with the program the first time, I came back and took classes in management and international business, and I got my MBA about 10 years after I got my literature. And both times I did as a commuter. So I've never had the benefit of being a full-time Iona student, but it's always great as a commuter too.
So with the hit show Dallas now, fans can go online to speak with the characters. Is this a future for television now?
That's a great question. You did your research. I think one thing that you're going to see more of is the kinds of things that you would have seen online on air, and vice versa. I think the biggest show right now on TV is AMC's The Walking Dead, and after The Walking Dead there's a little wrap-up talk show, and I think you're going to see more and more of that, like content that you wouldn't normally have seen a show about a show on air. So you're going to see a lot more of that, and ways to interact with, on Twitter, and I think all these different screens we have Conan O'Brien on our networks, and you can use a sync app on your iPad while you're watching Conan, so that you can interact with the guests on the show. And I just think all that convergence is going to keep happening more and more, because people don't watch TV the way they used to as a passive experience. They do it much more interactively now.
So what advice would you give young students coming out of school now?
I would say definitely be creative about your approach to trying to find a job, because there's a lot of good candidates out there. So don't just send a resume, but do more than that. Like, do research on the people you're interested in working for. Be aggressive about trying to reach out to them. Don't worry about bothering them, because they get a lot of people reaching out to them, and the one who they're going to remember, the one that's going to stick, is the person who reached out to them more than once. And I don't think anyone should be afraid of starting out as an assistant, because the most important thing is getting into an organization. Once you're in an organization, then you can start navigating around it, but you got to get in, and nobody's going to start as a vice president. So, you start as an assistant, you start as an assistant service representative, but get in, and then you can start making moves from there.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sure.
I'm Kristen Canada from ICTV News.